All right, talk a little sports. College sports. Let's talk college football. So, surprise of the weekend was Notre Dame beating the crap out of USC. Um, Notre Dame got two losses. USC have they were number 10, came in. To me, should have won that game handily. Now Notre Dame really only lost two games, but they really only lost one. One was literally came to the end of the game. They had a bad snap on defense. They rushed three instead of four. Lost the game on that drive. It was over. They were playing that prevent defense and prevented them from winning. But they really should have had only one loss. But anyway, they lost. So that was a huge win for Notre Dame. Alabama won, snuck out again, 24-21, snuck it out. They're going to have to fix some things because eventually those close games will become losses. A lot of interesting stuff happened. Oregon, Washington State, 36-33. Pretty close game. They should be in the same spots next week. Nothing crazy. And because you can lose to a team right next to you, right under you, over you, and not lose too much. Especially you didn't get blown out. They only lost by a few points. 3 points, so they're fine. And both of them still look good. The biggest conversation right now is what is going on with the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, obviously, they're not ranked anymore. They came in, they should have mopped Stanford. I stayed up. I was going to stay up and watch the halftime. I was like, okay, the only thing they did wrong in the first half was they missed a field goal. Now, the game in the first half wasn't all Colorado Buffaloes because Stanford had a few shots down the field they just dropped. Hunter got tricked on one of his plays, and he came behind and tried to deflect the ball. He didn't get to it, but the guy just dropped it. But he's able to affect the pass enough where the guy dropped it. But there was a couple of plays where Stanford literally just dropped the balls offensively in the first half. So there was opportunities for them to maybe score a touchdown or 10 points, stuff like that here and there. They couldn't. So second half, I'm sure they built on that momentum. I went to sleep, 29 zip, woke up, scrolling on the gram. I'm like, wait, what happened? But this is what I was telling somebody. I think similar to like the Dallas Cowboys, you can have all the marketing and advertising you want. And Coach Prime has done everything when it comes to marketing and advertising this team. And they did a lot of great things during the offseason, right? We never thought they were able to change over the team over 70 players and build enough chemistry enough in the offseason to get any wins. And they have 4, right? But you are what your record is. They're 4-3. They're horrible defense. They can't stop nothing. They can't stop a paper black bag, whatever. Can't stop a cold, whatever saying you think, they can't do it. The other thing is sometimes the moment is so big you don't want to put your team in a bad situation. Coach Prime, everyone watches him, right? You hear what he says. You want to hear his inspiration. You want to know what he thinks. You want to everything. But his players, specifically on defense, aren't there to back up his words. Now, should they have been in that position? No. 29 zip, everybody knows the rule. Now, the league has changed off whether you talk about college football or NFL football. The leagues are passing leagues. There's not a thing to run the air out of the ball. You don't even hear that thing anymore. So, 29 zip, this is what you do. We run the ball 3 times. It takes 40 seconds to snap the ball. We run the ball, snap the ball with 2 seconds left, 5 seconds left. Everybody get out the huddle quick snap, run the ball, 5-6 second play, we punt. That's what you do. You run the ball, punt. Run the ball. That alleviates the way to how they'll come back because there's no more time on the clock, right? So there's things you can do to ensure that your players are not in that position to potentially lose the game. Obviously, his son threw an interception. It's coming back, so and when you're trying to come back to win the game, I understand. I hate when quarterbacks sit back there and take sacks. I hate it. You know this is the last play of the game. It's the last drive. I'd rather you throw a pick. Give your guy a chance. Give a chance to maybe a ref call a flag. Something can happen. Hold in. Anything can happen. Do not take a sack. Because you take a sack, we can't get nothing from that. We can get a holding penalty. We can get a tip pass and a catch. We can get a deflection. We can get a whole bunch of stuff. We can get nothing from a sack. So I don't mind not just his son, but any time a quarterback last play of the game or last drive, throw it up, best man wins or tallest man win or top jumper, something like that. But the emotional ups and downs of what the Buffaloes are going through, they may not win another game. And I don't say that as like a joke, but they've reached the height of this season on another game. They made history trying to come back, coming back a couple of games ago. And now they set the record. They made history, the most points on a comeback win. On a 1-4 team. Stanford is trash. They've been trash. So I don't know if you can go from the highs, the lows, the interviews, the traveling, all the fans, all the questions, all the cameras, all this and all that, and every week. Now they have an off season, so they have 2 weeks to kind of figure it out. But it's a lot on these guys. And Coach Prime demands a lot, but he also brings a lot too. And sometimes the limelight is just too big. And they don't have like 4 or 5 games left. I saw something a couple of days ago before after the 2 losses. I'm like, okay, if they beat Stanford, they be 5-2. If they get 7 wins, they be straight. 8 wins, they be fine. I don't see a path forward to 8 wins. I don't see a path forward to 7 wins. If they can get 6, they'll be lucky. That's 2 more wins out of the next 5 or 6 games, something like that. So you always have to seize the opportunity when you can have it. But you're gonna have games. One thing about like any type of sport, it's never over. It's literally never over. Teams have come back from 20-zip all the time, 30-zip all the time. And you have to build on the foundation of the actual sport. Football has always been built on running the ball. These, not just college, but NFL too, has gotten away from the foundation of football. Now, the reason it was built on that, because that is the quickest path to success. Running the ball. It gets you yards. It beats the air out of the opponents. And it takes time off the clock. Passing the ball, you get penalties, stop the clock. Injuries, stop the clock. You get interceptions. You lose opportunity to take potential sacks, fumbles, all these negative things. And you only can get one good thing. It's a catch. So when you run the ball, it's the foundation of any type of program you want to go build for longevity if you're trying to do that. And they have to get better at running the ball, but they have to understand and not put this team, specifically the offense, in that position to ever be there again. 29-zip, they should have came out running the ball. They should have 0 passes in the second. Oh, how many passes? 0 passes in the second half. We ran the ball. Now, they would have came back because you're going to have penalties to stop the clock. You're going to have injuries to stop the clock. You can have things like that. But to not be able to execute in the second half, but to get dismantled offensively and defensively. They scored 29 in the first half and 14 in the second half. That's not a path forward, and I don't see a path forward this season for 7 wins. We're gonna see what happens. They got 2 more ranked teams, and obviously rankings change every week, so they could have 3 more ranked teams. They could have 1. We'll see, but they definitely have some tough games coming up. Not as tough as the 2 back-to-backs they have, but when you are demoralized after that, I mean, their opponents are going to be like, yo, y'all suck. Y'all lost to Stanford. The stuff that these guys are going to be saying to these players, I got stuff that you never heard. It would not fire them up. I don't think I'm going to beat y'all. No, it ain't going to fire them up. Demoralize them more. So we're going to see how they can bounce back next week. But they had an opportunity to win that game. And Coach Prime talked about, we deserve to win. And he right. But it's a 4-quarter game. So you deserved it in the halftime. You're right. You deserved it at the 3rd quarter. But you have to. You can't ignore the foundation. Anything that's built for long term has to be built on a solid foundation. And when you get away from that, the football guys will punish you. It may not be game 1 or 2 or 3, but it will come back and say, hey, you will just ignore us like this. We out here. And when you can't run the ball, specifically when you're up 29 zip, you going nowhere. Peace.